Okay, so let's dive a little bit into sound, and what we're going to do today is we're going to grab the piezo buzzer, and in your kit you probably have two little black cylinders, one with a piece of tape on the top and one without. The one without we'll play with in a minute. This is called the audio transducer, and this can make lots of different frequencies. Okay, what we want to do is play with the piezo buzzer, this little guy here, again with the tape on it. And this produces one noise of one frequency. So all you need to create a noise here is just a battery. So for example, I've got a 9-volt battery here. If I connect this piezo buzzer, it should make a loud noise. So the battery has a positive end and a negative side. Okay, so that's important to know. And then here, if you haven't removed the piece of paper, and I would recommend that you leave the tape on there, leave the paper on there. It will help mitigate the noise. There should be a little plus sign, okay? But you can also tell that the positive lead is the longer lead. So this positive lead and that plus sign go together, or should go together. So if we attach positive to positive and negative to negative, you should hear a loud noise. Okay? And so that's all that's needed to make a frequency with this guy. All right? And so what we're going to do is we can plug this into the Arduino board and then use digital write to make a frequency, input-output frequency. All right, and so we could plug this into a breadboard and connect it with wires, but the pins are just about exactly the right size. So I'm going to make sure that my small pin, my short pin, goes into the ground pin, which is going to be right here. It's going to be this guy right there. Okay, and then my positive pin is going to be plugged into the next pin that it's going to reach, which is the A0 pin. You see that there. Okay, so the short pin goes into ground, and the A0 pin is the long pin. I just kind of push it in like so. See, my tape has come off here. All right, so my tape came off, but you can see it may be important to point out that if the tape comes off, there's also a positive on the top that tells you that this is the positive side here. So I'm just going to apply a little sticker again, just so it doesn't make so much noise. Okay, so ground pin into ground and the positive pin into A0. And that's all we need to do to connect this guy. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to open up the examples file. So go to File. For a Mac, it's way up here, hiding at the top. You got to hover to drop down the file, Examples, Basics, and then Blink. Okay, that's going to open this guy so we can park it there. And this is the blink command. Let's see here, the blink function. We can get rid of this code here. Okay, and our LED pin is not really an LED. We can call it maybe a buzzer pin or a piezo pin. We'll call it buzzer pin. The buzzer pin, and remember the buzzer pin is plugged into A0. Okay, so we're just going to copy that guy, and then we're going to replace it once in the setup and then twice inside the loop. Okay, so we can get rid of the LEDs here, you know. Piezo buzzer. But essentially this is going to do exactly what blink does. Okay, and turns on the piezo buzzer for 1 second. Okay, so just tidying up the header file there. Okay, and everything looks good. So now if I run this code, it should, got to plug it in. Okay. So upload the code. My port may not be set. Let's see. Okay. Pretty annoying. So this is doing exactly what the blink does, except using audio rather than visual with the onboard LED. All right. So what I want to do is I think at this point maybe we'll save it. Okay, so we can't go to File and Save because it is a read-only file, because this belongs to the Arduino IDE. So I'm going to say OK, or you can just simply go to File and Save As to skip that and go straight into the folder that you want to store all your files. So I'm going to call this Blink to Buzz. Blink to Buzz, and it's a .ino file. It's fine to just leave it like that. Save, and then maybe change this blink to buzz.ino. Okay, when we run this, right, it loops forever and ever and ever because loop runs forever. So what we can do, if we wanted to, we could change this duration. So now it's only on for 100 milliseconds and off for 1,000. Okay, that's a little less annoying. Okay. All right. So the point is that you can make different patterns, and again, it's quite annoying, so I'm going to take that off. If we take the paper off, the sticker, it makes a really, really loud noise, and if you're in a classroom, people will be less than pleased with you. Okay, so what I want to show you is I want to show you that you can, maybe I'll take this back to 500 and 500 or something like that. Okay, and what I want to show you now is how can you make this run only once? How can you make it just go beep one time? Right? There are two ways to do that. There are a dozen ways to do that. One easy way is to cut this code and put it in the setup. Remember, setup only runs once. So any code you put inside the setup would run one time. So that's one easy way to do that. You can just move it up into here. But there's a different way I want to show you. Okay? I probably should have zoomed in on the code a bit. Sorry about that. The other way is I want the loop to run one time. And the way we can do that is with a while loop. Okay? So a while loop requires a conditional expression, so something that's going to be tested logically. Okay? So you could say while, x equals 3, or while the sensor is less than 500, or something like that. For our case, we just want it to always be on, or to always be true. So if we just type the word true here, okay, while true is true is always true. So while that's true, it's going to run our loop. Okay, so one way that you can run a while loop is with a beginning curly brace, and if you hit enter, it ends the curly brace. So any code within these two curly braces, all right, could be run. Okay, and we can say do nothing perhaps. Right? So we just want the function, we just want the sketch rather to just stop running forever. Loop will get to here, and this while true will just keep running until true is false, but true is never false, so it doesn't ever stop. It just runs and runs and runs. Okay? So again, let's just upload the code. Let's see what happens before I upload the code. Okay? So now if I run it, it's going to do this one time. Okay, it ran for 500 milliseconds and off for 500, and it did that once. Cool? All right. So this is a while block. Okay, we could also make a while statement. You don't, because there's nothing really going on inside of this, we don't really need a block of code. Instead, what we can do is we can just simply and just have a semicolon here at the end. Okay, so while true is a while statement, and we can put a little comment out here that says do nothing. Or maybe more important, pause forever. Okay, so if we run the code, okay, that makes a beep once, and then it stops. Okay, and in the next video, I'm going to show you how to use the while loop to run it for a certain number of loops. The loop is looping around and around and around. Maybe we could make it run the beep, 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 beep for 1,000 little loops, or maybe we can run the buzzer for a certain amount of seconds. And so that's what the next video is about. But this one is done. I think that's all I wanted to do here. Yeah.